When you walk into most classrooms, the teacher says, here's what I want you to do. And it's not because the teacher's a tyrant, it's because the teacher's bound by all kinds of laws and expectations. The school board, the county, the state, the federal government lays down on educators. We have to do some things. So, in turn, we tell you, here's what I want you to do. But how many teachers consider what you want to do? And I know sometimes what you want to do doesn't have anything to do with what the teacher wants you to do. That's just a fact of life. There's never going to be a perfect overlap. Well, or it would happen very infrequently. And there's also those things you're really good at. Are those ever part of your education? You know, how can you involve what you're really good at in school? So, back to what I want you to do and what you want to do. Let's find the overlap. Not everything I want is going to play into what you want, and vice versa. But there's got to be some overlap somewhere. And that's what we have to learn to leverage. I need to leverage it to get you to work, and you need to leverage it to get me to see the value in what you want to do. These circles are not static. They grow or shrink for the closed-minded ones, but they should always grow. What you want to do should get broader and broader. There should be more and more things you want to do. And the same with me, with what I want you to do. So we need to learn how to leverage that, how to have a conversation, how to figure this out. But this isn't all there is to it. Because there's also what you do well. How do we play that into this equation? Well, how do we fit it in? It has to overlap. What you want to do and what you do well pretty often intersect. And it's not always as balanced as what I'm showing here. You need to learn how to extend what you do well and what you want to do. You need to get better at what you do. And I need to learn how to leverage that little overlap. I also need to learn how to include what you do well into what I want you to do. But remember, what I want you to do is dictated by outside forces as well as what I want personally. Personally, I want you to learn how to learn. I want you to love the adventure of growing your mind, of becoming more creative. All the wonder that life offers is locked away if you're not interested. If you are apathetic and could care less about learning, your future's pretty bleak, because your future is directly tied to what you learn, to what you know, to your thirst for knowledge, for your quest to get better and to be a part of something bigger than yourself. That's going to have to come in later when we get to AMP. But for right now, we're talking about ZIM. And ZIM is that perfect zone, that place where what I want you to do overlaps with both what you want to do and what you do well. That's the place that we need to find. And I told you before, this is a conversation and a negotiation, and when we reach that ZIM, it's a celebration. So I want you to think about this. Think about the zone of intrinsic motivation. And I want you to think about how you can learn to leverage, learn to extend, how I can learn to include, and you as well. This is a two-way conversation. Everything we do in here is built around the idea that there's something wrong with school, the way it's set up, the way it operates. And ZIM is one piece of the puzzle I'm asking you to pick up and play in this room, in the Mac Lab. And teachers out there, anybody else listening to this, I urge you to begin to have this conversation, this negotiation, this celebration with your own students. So, I mentioned AMP, the idea behind autonomy, mastery, and purpose. The idea of giving you choice, autonomy, working towards what you do well, mastery. But most importantly, there has to be a purpose greater than ourselves. We'll get to that tomorrow.